Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag. What you see is what you get. When I look in the mirror, I'm looking like a man. Like we playing tag bad, I'm the top pick. Show them what you're working with. Break the circuit, be a hit. Go ahead and make them sit. If you gotta hate it, then your purpose is equipped. Tell them catch you later, cause you serving up some grits. Meaning hot with the drip when I drop in the mix. The proof is in the pudding. Show them how you do it. They do it like they shouldn't. You don't need to brag, cause your competition couldn't. You don't need to boast, cause the proof is in the pudding. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them what you got. Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag.
Hey everybody, welcome to this Bring the Heat series here at PhotoDay. I am Wayne Thompson, VP of Product here at PhotoDay. I hope everyone is having an amazing Tuesday. I hope everyone had a really safe and relaxing 3-day weekend. Memorial Day is one of my favorite holidays because it symbols that obviously we understand that freedom isn't free. We're going to celebrate all of our forces and things, and also beginning of summer is here. So let me know in the chat. I want to see like how delayed this chat is since it's our first time using this new platform. Let me know in the chat. What did you do this weekend? Give me like what was on your barbecue list. Did you go do something fun? Like, let me know how it was. I want to see what you guys did to kick off the summer. I'll start while I'm waiting for some of your responses. I'm a big movie buff. Summer movies is like where it's at. I started off by watching the Mandalorian and Grogu at the theater. Amazing. Pretty good as far as like the cinematography and everything. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to have thoughts. But I did love it. It was a good way to kick off the summer movie binge. So nice. Tequila, of course, Emily. Beef back ribs. Nick. Nice. Wow. Tahoe and Wagyu ribeyes, Melissa. I think I know which Melissa that is. All right. Oh, you laid roses at Fort Logan. Thank you so much, Kim. I know that, doing things like that is really important to a lot of people. Grilled out for lunch. I love this. Well, it sounds like you guys had an amazing not 4th of July. We're not there yet. Memorial Day weekend. Ate our way through New Orleans. Now that is a way to spend a holiday weekend. New Orleans is one of my favorite food cities. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. If you are thinking about coming to the Central Florida area, I recommend you do it sooner rather than later. This is what we call our hotter season for the summer. Like we have hot for the most of the year, and then we have a hotter season. So this weekend, it was about 90, but it felt like 95 in my car. It said 100. And we're just in May. Just imagine what July and August are going to feel like. It's going to be hot. But that's why we've definitely branded this as our Bring the Heat series. So we're super excited to go ahead and get started. Looking forward to sharing with you all like an inside look behind the scenes, kind of going into product. So, all right, let's see, Mel. I'm going to remove myself from the spotlight and let's get these slides up. Boom, there we go. All right. In case you missed my amazing intro, my name is Wayne Thompson. I am the VP of Product here at PhotoDay. Looking forward to going over everything with you all today. So before we actually get started, I'm gonna go over an agenda so everyone knows like what's going to be happening today. Got to set expectations right. We're going to talk to you a little bit about some of the recently released items. We're going to talk about what's coming soon. We're going to talk about what our fall preview looks like, and then we're going to do some Q&A. And like we really want everyone to have a good understanding of like what product is, what product does before we just jump into features. So we figured out it might be helpful to do some housekeeping really quickly. This session is recorded. Yes, a replay will be emailed. This will be a conversation. I do like to talk, but I want this to be something that goes back and forth so that you all have the opportunity to share different things and ask different questions. I mean, you have essentially the product team here. You might as well take advantage of it. We do have an agenda of things we need to go through, but one of our main purposes is to make sure that we are listening and we are understanding your feedback and what your needs are. We ask that you please be respectful. We are people and we read most, if not all, of the comments. And anytime that a comment gets made kind of to the ether, which says like PhotoDay doesn't care, well, that's not true. Like, because PhotoDay is people, and all of the people here, especially those in product, really, really care about what is it that you're doing, your workflows, your challenges. But the truth is that everything just can't be solved with a click of a button or a quick typing on the keyboard. Things are a little bit more complicated than that, and we'll go into that really quickly. All right, so what is product? And my feelings don't get hurt that easily, Nick. I'm talking about everybody else. Thank you very much. All right, so what is product at PhotoDay? The art and science of listening, understanding, validating, and solving the problems of our users, both photographers and studios and end customers, that align with PhotoDay's vision and what helps our business grow. That sounds like a lot of word salad, but it's really, really important. Like, this first part of it, I really want everyone to understand, hey, we're about listening. We are about understanding. We are about solving problems. That's what we do. We have to solve problems both for the studios, the end users, and also the labs. So, and if you saw this, like in this first part of the sentence, really articulating that this is both an art and a science. Like, we can't just look at data and just say, okay, well, this is exactly what we're going to do because the data says we should do exactly that. There's an art form to being able to do this too, because we need to be able to understand and interpret what this data is truly telling us, and how that data ties into the feedback that we're getting from studios, what we're hearing from customers, what we're seeing in our platform, what we believe ourselves to be the next thing to make the business grow. But all of this culminates into a way that we want to be able to further align with what PhotoDay's vision is and further push that forward. Because the better PhotoDay gets, the better everyone gets, and the better our studios do, the better PhotoDay does. Our success is your success. So we're not just sitting here saying, you know what, we want this thing to happen. That's only part of the equation. We've got to do a good job of really listening and aligning to what you all are wanting. So this is how that happens, right? It's a very simple overview of the process. And it's a really oversimplified version, but discovery, definition, design, and then development, right? Discovery is like, hey, what's the problem? What are people asking for? Why are they asking for it? Why does this matter? And really just diving as deep as we can into the why, right? If we can really figure out like why people are asking for this or what problem it's solving, it really sets us on a trajectory of success. But even if once we have that, we really have to define like what this thing actually is. One of the issues that we have here at PhotoDay, just letting you all behind the curtain here, is that we have similar terms for just about everything. And those terms often have different definitions to different people. If you say a term of like add-on, that means one thing to one person and means another thing to another photographer. It's kind of similar to like different words meaning different things in different regions. We've got to take what everyone kind of sees as a common definition of something and really define like what this actually is. And once we have defined it, we can then articulate to everyone what it is. It might be a little confusing at first because that word or that phrase might be associated to something that everyone's not necessarily comfortable with, but we need to make sure that we're on the same page. This is our like foundational process of defining something, and it takes a little bit longer than you think. Once we have like discovered what the problem is and truly define what the scope of the problem is, we go into designing what the solution needs to be. Now that's something, again, that can't happen overnight. We need to look at, PhotoDay is a very, very robust system, and we help studios who have just started to studios who are multi-million-dollar a year studios. And so everything that we build, we have to run that full gamut of consideration. Well, how does this affect this type of studio, this dance type of studio? How does it affect this school studio? How does it affect these sports studios? And how do, like, the culmination, people who do all those types, how does it affect them as well? So it's a very, very detailed process that we kind of go through, and going through the implications of how this works and how this doesn't work. It's really important that we really design it in the right way and go through all of the implications. And that can take a long time, because if we build something quick, you'll see that the use cases will come and people will say, hey, well, it doesn't do X, Y, and Z. If we would have took some more time to think about that initially, delayed the release, we would have had a better outcome. So, and it's a balance, because we don't want to delay the release so much that you just never get value. It takes forever to get value out of what we're doing. It's definitely a balance. And then once we have designed it, we go into development. We build the thing, right? So this is the overview of like what our software development process is and how we do things. Whether you wanted that information or not, hey, you now have it. All right. So I'm going to skip over to like what our product philosophy is. We have this kind of thing that we are paying attention to at all times. Right. You can have something that's good. You can have something that's fast. And you can have something that's cheap. These are the three biggest factors, right? If you have something that's good and fast, it's not going to be cheap. If we have something that's fast and cheap, it's not going to be good. If we have something that's good and cheap, it's not going to be fast. We cannot have good, fast, and cheap. It's just virtually impossible. And for PhotoDay, the number one thing that we want to make sure that we are putting out is something that's good, something that we can really feel proud of. We want it to be fast, but often doing things fast has its own implications. So each one of these things has a trade-off and something that we are working towards every single day to try to figure out like what needs to happen. And so this is our final like slide on like this product process, so we can get into the stuff that you guys really care about. But there are two main ways of building products, right? There's the philosophy of iterative development, where we're building something, we know that, hey, it's probably 80% there, it's probably missing like 20% of what we want, but we can iterate and make that better. And then there's the other one that's like, hey, you know what? We are going to build it as much as we can. I don't care how long it's going to take. We're going to build it so it's this really big thing, and then we're going to release it at the end of the year, and then everyone's going to be happy. Well, unfortunately, like that last one, that thinking that everyone's going to be happy, I don't really subscribe to that. I believe that what we need to do needs to be an A to B type of solution that gets the job done, that may not have all the bells and whistles, but it gets the job done. So you'll see in this illustration here, like it starts with the guy who's just on a rowboat. They're just trying to get across the river. Then we're going to add a sail. Then we're going to add some comfort. Then we're going to add some more speed. And then we're going to have the ultimate experience, versus taking the time like and just building this huge ship, like just taking however long it takes to be able to build the entire thing. That's a product philosophy that a lot of software companies subscribe to. That's not the one that we subscribe to here. We're looking at time, resources, and scope as our big three. How much time is it going to take? How many resources, and what does the scope look like? And just like good, fast, and cheap, this also has a trade-off. If time is fixed, like we want this to be out soon, and resources are fixed, I mean, we have X amount of engineers who work for PhotoDay to be able to help us, that means the scope needs to be flexible. The scope needs to get smaller. Whatever the case, like developing the product, developing our solutions is a trade-off conversation, like what works and what really doesn't work. Okay. So that's essentially the highlight of like how we building that product. I think that that's extremely important as we go into like, well, what's here. All right. So let's dive into the recently released stuff. Okay. Just in case you all didn't know, I'm really excited about this one. This is job duplication, something that folks at PhotoDay have been asking for a while. Like we talked about before, PhotoDay makes features and our software can be used by anyone of any job size. So when we are talking about these more seasoned folks who are really setting up and going through all the intricacies of their job, they have so many things they have to set up on a job-to-job basis. Well, we decided to go ahead and get rid of that. You can now stop rebuilding from scratch. You can duplicate and reuse your jobs. You can have just a master job that you're going to use and duplicate off of that consistently. It's going to build in all the things that you really, really know and love. At the beginning, you're going to be able to decide whether you want to duplicate subject data right at the beginning of this process, which I know a lot of photographers who are using subject data would absolutely love. And we're really excited about this because it's really going to cut down the amount of working time that it's going to take to duplicate and kind of start your jobs. Okay. Bulk shipping on all job types. This is a really exciting one because the bulk shipping function, right now we have a few labs that we have bulk shipping with. And you can only do those if you have a private jobs. Well, as most of you know, a lot of you all sell out of public and group jobs. And so it's very difficult to do bulk fulfillment on those private jobs, on those non-private jobs. It's actually impossible. But we've created a way. Our team went deep into the lab to be able to create a way to be able to do this. the goal here will be to that the studio is going to have to go in and set up certain data points that the customer will have to select at checkout. It will be required, but that's the grouping data that's going to be necessary when you're shipping to your leagues or to your organizations, so that the lab will get that data and they will group it accordingly. Again, this is not available across all labs. There are certain labs that are working with PhotoDay. If you have questions, you can reach out to the bubble regarding what those labs are. But now you can do this across job types. If you aren't familiar, a few months back, we released subject data for all job types. So now we really have decoupled like how you want parents to access the data and then how you want to manage your job. Those are two separate things now. Before they were one and the same. So you really want to really get the most out of this, you can say, hey, I want to be able to collect subject data. And for those of you who are familiar, we do have pre-registration that allows you to collect subject data if your organization doesn't get subject data, and you can use bulk shipping. So this kind of completes what we've been working on since the beginning of January, which is really disassociating gallery access type, meaning how you want the parents to access your job, and ultimately how you want to manage the job. So super excited for that. Okay, we'll continue. Job-specific offers. I know a lot of people use offer, and they've been familiar with our offer system. When you use an offer for whatever reason, whether it's an AdvancePay offer or if it's just a standard offer you want to give to folks for being able to help out, or for coupon you want to give, or customer service standpoint, you will now have the ability to make that coupon only available for specific jobs. Before they were global. That coupon can be used in your senior jobs and it can be used in your sports jobs. Well, now that's no longer the case. You'll be able to come in here, specify what job you want it to be eligible for, just like you would in a normal retail environment or a normal e-commerce environment. Certain coupons are available for certain items, not available for the whole store. So we've provided that opportunity for everyone here. It is available right now, so you can just go into where you're creating offers, create that offer, and then assign that offer to whatever jobs you want to be able to do it for. All right. So those are the big 3 releases that we've recently had. Okay. Anyone have any questions before we dive into some of the coming soon stuff? And I'm doing a lot of talking, and it looks like, yeah, thank you, Lex, for answering that question. Cool. Take a beat. All right. We'll continue. Okay, coming soon. We're not going to be putting the dates on these yet, but just know and please trust that these things are coming soon and sooner than you think. We like to, at PhotoDay, we didn't talk about this before. We like to have when we release things in kind of in a fractional standpoint. Before we widely release it to everyone, we need to make sure that we are understanding how people are using it, how studios are using it, how customers are liking it, before we just say, hey, all of PhotoDay is going to be using this. We have millions of end customers that we support and tens of thousands of studios that we support. So we really need to make sure that we are making the right decisions before we just release a feature. So we might release things and you guys might hear of them in an environment called a beta, where we're going to be studying behavior, getting feedback from the usage. So a lot of these features are going to go through that phase before they become widely available. But we just want to get you all excited about them. You know, like I just talked about summer movies. What gets you really excited about summer movies are the trailers and the previews. So just kind of see this as a trailer. And if you have any specific questions on any of these, you can reach out to our team and we'd be glad to talk with you, talk about whatever use case that you might have and figure out if this will be a good fit for you when it comes out. Okay, first one I think is going to be helpful for everyone. I think everyone's going to be super excited about this one. Download all description edits. So one of the main pieces of feedback, and like we tell you, we listen to everything. One of the main pieces of feedback that we heard was, hey, you know what? Parents are getting mad at us because they're downloading the team photo, they're downloading download all, and they're not reading that a team photo was excluded. And this is a real challenge because you want to be able to protect the integrity of your images. And if you download one photo, a parent can just share it, right? So I can understand why a lot of you decide, hey, I don't want to include that team photo. Well, now you'll be able to edit this description just like you can the rest of the products within PhotoDay. initially we were doing research and looking at Download All to make sure that people were understanding and customers were understanding what the product truly was before we just allowed the description edit. But now we feel like everyone has a pretty good idea, and our descriptions are in a pretty good spot, but we will allow you all to have more control over that and to edit the Download All descriptions, to put any additional instructions like does not include team photo, so that your parents can stop asking you about that. Okay. Here's another big one that we've heard, organization address, especially with bulk shippings across all job types. I think it's really important to note that when we are doing the organization, when you're creating your organization, right now, when you go to bulk jobs or you go to bulk shipping, you have to then input an address to verify that this is a shipping address. Well, we don't want that to be a thing for you. We want it to be extremely easy for you to go in and just select an address or add a different address if you want to. So we're going to give the organization an address that will auto-populate with bulk shipping so that you don't have to take that extra step over what's happening. So really excited about this one, and guess again, just going to save you more time. This isn't going to be the woo super flashy thing, but it's going to be a workflow enhancement that's definitely going to save you all some time. And then requiring AdvancePay at pre-registration. Pre-registration has been one of our most successful feature releases in 2026. And it's been really exciting to see all the feedback. Is it a perfect feature? No, I think there's some other things that we need to do. But we also want to make sure to acknowledge that when we release a feature, our commitment to improvement, similar to kind of how that slide I showed back a few slides ago with regards to the boat example. We released pre-registration in its infancy. It did not have like AdvancePay associated with it, but this is our next iteration of it. So now what you'll be able to do at pre-registration, there's a setting, there will be a toggle that allows you to require AdvancePay for pre-registration. So if a person is interested, they have to go in and they have to complete that AdvancePay purchase. We make it really, really easy. The UI is excellent. So shout out to our product designers for being able to do this. It's one like toggle, one setting for the studio, and a really easy, seamless experience for the customer. Even better, the customer will be able to easily add a second subject if they need to and just increase their quantity. It's a really great process, but now we can make it so that they cannot pre-register without making AdvancePay, and that will be your choice as a studio. You still do not need this, but that's something that you will have the choice to be able to do. Okay. All right, so those are the things that we're going to be talking about that are going to be somewhat in the summer releases. So now let's talk about like what's coming in the fall. And fall is one of those words that means different things to everyone. We anticipate these features that we're about to go over to be released sometime between the end of July and the end of August. Okay, so that's when some of these features will be released. If you have questions about specific dates as we get closer, we'll let you know that question. Okay, let's go to, I see your question here, TJ. I'm gonna actually add this one. Okay, so will they be able to get back into their account later if they did do AdvancePay later, or if they have to do it at pre-registration? They don't have to do it at registration. You can require that, or you cannot require that. If you require it, they will have to do AdvancePay at registration. Okay. So, and I think that I didn't see your question, Gretchen. I think that it's the similar one. Will it be required, be an option, or will it be required all the time? If you make it required, it will be required all the time. If you do not have, if you make it an option, it will be optional. It is totally up to you. Will the AdvancePay stay even once the gallery goes live? If you make it required, yes, it will. Okay. So if you decide like AdvancePay is required to do pre-registration, and you send out that registration link, when the gallery goes live, you can make that AdvancePay required. If it's optional, can they go back and do it later? That's a good question. Let me try to remember. If if they just sign up for registration, they can always go back, and as long as the gallery status is in AdvancePay, sorry, let me pull up this question that TJ had. As long as the gallery status is in AdvancePay, it will work just like it does today, and they can do the AdvancePay later. Great questions, everyone. All right. Any more questions before we move on? I think there's going to be a lot of questions. How do I? Oh, there we go. Nice. I have to say, our marketing team really killed it with this new webinar vendor that we're using. It is amazing, especially for presenters. Shout out to the marketing team. Okay. So while we're talking about AdvancePay, let's talk about AdvancePay incentives. So you all are probably familiar with the function that allows an AdvancePay offer to be associated with an AdvancePay payment. We are going to continue this process, but we are going to expand it a bit. First things first is that we probably teach everyone who does AdvancePay. If you've spoken with anyone in the bubble, if you've spoken with anyone on our CS team, any of our managed accounts, we're going to tell you attach an offer with AdvancePay and do free shipping. Why? Because that incentivizes people to be able to do AdvancePay upfront. We believe fully in AdvancePay. That's why we have the feature, and we want you to be able to use it as much as possible. So starting up, we already have this to a degree. However, what we are doing is like building upon this, because you're going to be able to attach a free product that's not free shipping, excuse me. You can discount a product that is not free shipping, or you can have free shipping as an option. So you will have a plethora of opportunity to be able to incentivize people to use AdvancePay. You want to do a free 8x10 because an 8x10 is cheaper than free shipping? Well, you'll be able to do that. Do you want to offer download all at $100 for this person doing AdvancePay, and then when everything goes on sale, it's $200 for everyone else who didn't do it? You can do that, and you can still do your free shipping as well. We are really just expanding on the ability to give your customers an even better reason to purchase before Picture Day. Again, it's an incentive to do AdvancePay. We know that when people do AdvancePay, that they shop even more in the storefront. So we want to continue to encourage that by giving other options for you to be able to incentivize that. Okay. Looks like Lex got to that question. Okay, go ahead and move on. Okay, behavior-based marketing. All right, so sit back. We're really gonna kind of dive in here, and we kind of alluded to this in some of the marketing, like basically thinking of like, what if your offers, what if everything inside that was going out to parents was smarter? Right? It could read the room. It could understand what's happening. Well, this is a first component of that, right? Behavior-based marketing is our ability in typical e-commerce environments. People will call this abandoned cart, right? But the truth is that with PhotoDay, our abandoned cart, our cart to conversion, ratio is extremely high. It's higher than anybody else in the volume photography industry. And so our area of opportunity isn't abandoning cart, because typically when a parent puts something in their cart, they close. What we need to do is get more parents from the gallery into the storefront, or get people when they're shopping in the storefront to get something added to their cart. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to start giving messages based off of what a parent is actually doing. Did that parent enter the gallery? Then great, because our standard marketing is 03571430. And we're going to send them reminders at that time. What we're going to morph this into is finding out, well, what's a person actually doing in the gallery? And can we give them messages to help them take their next step? That's all this is about. How can we help that customer take their next step? For some customers, their next step is going from the gallery to favoriting. All right. We will know, did a customer favorite? Yes or no. If they didn't favorite, we'll encourage them to favorite their photo. If they favorited their photo, we're going to encourage them to go into the storefront. If they've gone into the storefront, we're going to encourage them to add a product to their cart. If they've added a product to their cart, we're going to encourage them to check out. This is extremely smart marketing. It is based off and tailor-made off the psychology of the user. We're never sending them irrelevant messages. We're never sending them standardized messages. We are sending them messages that's personalized to where they are at in what we call the buyer's journey. And therefore, instead of just trying to get them to, hey, buy now, this thing is on sale, we're just encouraging them to take their next step. Our goal here is for the entire experience to feel tailor-made to their parent so that they get the right message at the right time without you having to do anything. As a studio, you don't even need to enable this when it comes out. It will just be available. But this is a part of our effort to really make our system, our entire system, smarter, to make our entire system feel more intentional on a one-to-one basis as opposed to a one-to-many basis. Okay. Will we be able to see this Jadok, who is at the gallery? Let me put this up and say it the right way. Will we be able to see the data as well? Who is looking at the gallery and who isn't checking out by job? So what you will be able to do is to see what state a customer is in. Like, we're going to display the customer, like, and what we're seeing right now is basically the state of things, and what message is going to go out when. You'll be able to see at what state this customer is going to be in. Right. Again, we don't want you to have to take any actions or take any behaviors, like where our system is going to continuously handle that. And I know a lot of people, and honestly, I'm going to dive into this really quickly. I know a lot of people are asked, well, why don't you let us like send out our own messages? Why don't you let us like market to our own folks? And I want everyone to understand this, right? PhotoDay does not have any success unless our studios have success. We have been doing research for years as far as like how, when, why, where, what a customer buys. One thing that we do not want to allow is a free-for-all of folks just sending out messaging so that your customer ends up feeling inundated and they don't end up checking out. I'm sure we all experienced this. We've gone to a vendor and they've sent us like 10 text messages and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm extremely tired of getting messages from these people. The challenge will always be, well, how do we send the right number of messages so that we are increasing cart to checkout conversion and not decreasing people like wanting to be not allowing people to become disengaged because we have oversaturated them, right? And if we allow everyone, we have a lot of data. We have 8 years of data, millions of customers, tens of thousands of studios to say what works and what doesn't. This is why PhotoDay likes to have it where we decide, hey, these messages need to go here because we know where the right investment is going to be spent and what customers are going to do. That's not saying that we won't allow that in the future at some point at some sort of premium price point, but because right now our success is tied to these messages, but it needs to be extremely aware of like how much messages we are sending out. Like, we don't want anything to get shut down. We are very protective of the content that goes out because we're using our short code. So we are partnering with you. We want your success. So it's not that we don't want you to go out and send your own messages. We just have to make sure that we're doing it in a way that works out for all parties. Okay. This is a slight tangent, but this is funny. Angelo said, I'd love to be able to see the customer's favorites. That is coming, Angelo. That is another fall. It's not on this list. It is something that we plan to do this fall. I won't put a date on it yet, but that is something that it is coming. We want to be able to show you that data as far as favorites. And also, if you are unfamiliar, we already have the ability for you to see what images have been sold inside of Studio. So we want to enhance that by showing you what images have been favorited as well. Okay. Thank you, Lex, for answering that question. All right, so we started talking about this, like having our marketing being able to read the room. So the first part of this is behavior-based marketing. It is reading and it's understanding what our customers are. Here's the second part of this. Dynamic pricing. So conditional cart upsells at checkout, more revenue per order automatically. This has been a really big ask for a lot of studios for a long time, how to have upsells in the cart. And the truth is that this is a psychological buying experience that everyone is used to. They're used to being able to go and see specific discounts on things. They're used to being able to go in the cart and be able to see something that has been discounted because they took a certain behavior. And we're really excited about this. Our dynamic pricing model is going to allow the studio to choose what we call a trigger, like a certain action that the customer takes, and then also choose a result that will happen as a result of that action being taken. For example, if someone adds download all to their cart, you can choose to give them prints 50% off. And so in this top example, you see download all has been added to their cart. So you'll see that prints, this mini wallets and these 10x8 class picture have been discounted. And it's just an easy add that the customer can go ahead and do right here that would allow those things to be added and then proceed on to their checkout. This system is completely designed to find out what the customer is doing. And if they've taken a certain action that you as the studio have set up in the very beginning, it will read that action and it will surface to them, hey, because you did this, this is what's eligible for you. So you can do something like a buy $75, get an additional $25, buy a package and get a free 5x7, spend $50, get 30% off. Really, really excited about this, mostly because we'll be able to really incentivize and start to drive communication behind certain of these offers or certain of these promotions that we're doing within your storefront. And the customer will be able to see it very, very seamlessly. Again, you don't have to take a lot of activity. You just kind of set up what it is that you want, and that's going to be available on the jobs or on the price sheets that you need. And because it's available on the price sheets, it will display in the storefront. So dynamic pricing, having the ability to upsell and to kind of set up whatever pricing upsells that you want in the cart. Okay. Cool. All right. Any more questions? I know we went through and I talked about a lot of stuff, but these are kind of our big things that are coming up later this fall that we're really, really excited about. We hope that you are excited about them as well. I'll just wait a bit if anyone has anything they want to ask, just in case the delay is happening. Don't mind me, I promise I'll make sure to get any questions answered. Gretchen asked, any chance that we can change the name of AdvancePay to the word deposit? So the short answer right now is no, Gretchen. Like we have to look at something like that because PhotoDay is a marketplace facilitator, and it's extremely important that customers understand what they're getting. And we would have to change a lot of our communication around what we are giving to studios based on AdvancePay to call it something like a deposit. I know a lot of folks are using it as a deposit, but like we talked about before, it's really important that we define things the right way. And AdvancePay is exactly what it is. You are advance paying into your gallery, and you can use that money later. You can get an incentive to be able to do that. Deposit is a little bit different psychologically, and we have to be extremely careful on what we call things. Yeah, so I think to back this up, I'll put your comment up here, Gretchen, so I can address it. I think this is a communication thing, and we'll be glad to work through how we communicate what the value of AdvancePay is to parents. And we do have resources that help do that so that we can further help them understand. Because what they're doing is paying into their gallery, not paying for a specific product. So we'll talk about what that looks like in the future. Please, like Gretchen, let's continue this conversation because like I said, feedback is critical to what we do. If your parents are misunderstanding, let's talk about what they're not understanding so we can help. Okay, so Alicia asked, any chance we can do multiple AdvancePay option for entrance if you do multiple costume to different price? So at the onset right now, you can do up to 4 credit tiers per AdvancePay credit sheet. So you can choose a $15 option, $30 option. You know, most of our studios only do one, but if you wanted to do it like that, you could have 4 different options. I will say this again, just more into kind of e-commerce psychology. The more options that you provide in a software, customers tend to go towards indecision. So we want to make sure that we're really clear about what we want those options to be. And I'm not telling you how to run your business at all. We definitely want you to be able to do what you feel like is best, but we just know how customers interact when they come into the storefront. When you have too many options, they don't take as much action as we'd like them to. Let's go to this one. Any notes PDX would drop for studios? TJ, I need more context on what you mean. PDX is available right now for studios to be able to use if they're a vertical studio. You'll need to go through our sales team to chat about like the details of what you're trying to accomplish to make sure that PDX is the right fit for you. But PDX is available for you to be able to use for your studio. Unless you mean, when is it gonna? So TJ, if you're okay, I just recognize which TJ I think this is. If you're talking about the ability to create your own memory mates, but you're not printing that's something that we are working on, and we can talk about offline if that's what you mean, TJ. But we'll be glad to talk to you about that one-on-one. Okay, so will there be ever an AdvancePay product option? Purchase a product so parents don't have to worry about ordering later. So we just talked about that. You will have the ability to offer a free product with AdvancePay, but what we won't be doing is doing a prepay type of experience where, hey, you bought package A and all you get is package A when you come to the cart. PhotoDay is a proof model, and we have validated that model substantially over time. We know that when people use this type of model, they get more, and AdvancePay helps you get even more money as a studio because parents end up paying even more. Our CS team has fantastic data around this. Essentially, people who purchase AdvancePay spend 30% more per order. So it's extremely important, like as we kind of go through this process, that we recognize that we're going to be a proof pay model. We'll allow you to associate a free product with AdvancePay to make it even more enticing. But we want that parent coming to the store, because the moment they see their photo, they see other things, they're going to want more than whatever they bought up front, right? The prepay model is the prepay model. PhotoDay is a proof model, and we want to continue to stay that way. I'm sad you just got here too, Keely. I wish you were here earlier, but the replay will be available. Any chance to change product previews so they are relevant to the market? For example, not having previews of school portraits on a baseball job. 100%. We are trying to figure out how we do this. We just don't have a timeline on it quite yet. Hopefully we can figure out how to. This is a very, very complicated problem in our system because everyone has a different lab. Every different lab calls their product something different. They might be similar, but they might be similar in the way that the lab set it up. So we have to kind of create like this universal mode. And what will please a good amount of studios may not please all studios. Everyone wants a different image. And then we have to worry about like what aspect ratios are chosen and is it going to fit like the thumbnail essentially for that photo. So we are working on something. I think once we come out with it, we'll be glad to talk with studios to just kind of validate like this makes sense. This is a really good step forward. But we know the challenge of having like a baseball photo when you're doing a senior job or something like that. We definitely hear it, and we want to be able to address it. Cool. These are great questions, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, even if you're watching this on the replay, to watch. I hope you're really excited about a lot of the features that we're delivering. We're excited about building them and being able to generate that value for you and your studio. Any more questions? Okay. All right. Oh, wait, Rocky. No, okay. So this is a great question. AP credits apply to whatever job, not just the job that they are purchasing. They can, any of your jobs that parent has access to, they can use AdvancePay. the thinking here is that the advance pay is a sunk cost, right? They are going to be able to spend more. So if they spent it on one gallery, great. Then they went ahead and they spent it in that gallery. The advance pay incentive will be locked into that specific gallery once that is built. So they can only get that incentive on that job. But the money that they purchased up front, the sunk cost that they have up front, can now be spread across whatever gallery that they have access to, if they have access to more than one of your galleries. It's a great question. Okay. Well, thank you. Oh, here we go. Oh man, I thought I was gonna be able to make it out of here without this question, but let's talk about it for a second. I don't think I've done this publicly much to talk about like just the entire concept of what we have with combined cart, universal cart, combined gap, combined checkout, all of these different names that have come from it. PhotoDay as a whole, we want to be able to have a really easy buying experience. We want, like I mentioned, our cart to conversion ratio is extremely high. I'm talking, plus 80%. And so with that, we are extremely thoughtful about what affects that. How do we make sure that we maintain that level of checkout, and how do we make sure that our studios aren't losing? We've done a lot of research on this, and what we found is it's very difficult. And this is not a universal statement, because PhotoDay have so many. Remember, we're dealing with studios who were just starting, and we're also dealing with studios who've been in existence for 15, 20 years. We're dealing with studios who have, $0, studios who have $15 million a year, like, or whatever it is. Like there's a wide gamut, right? And every feature is not great for every studio. Then we have studios who literally 98% of their customers only visit one gallery all time. And then we have studios where 50% of their customers visit multiple galleries because they are in a specific town, or they're in a specific area, and everyone just comes to them. So it's not just a one size fits all solution. And we know that. And we are trying to figure out the best way to be able to address it. Our concern is that by allowing it to be everyone kind of, check out, is that customers will delay their purchases. And anyone who is in business knows that if customers delay their purchases, there's a chance that they won't purchase at all, because life comes up. It happens to all of us. You tell them, hey, I'll buy this next week, and then next week something else comes up. So we're extremely cautious about that. We know that certain times, certain studios, they're literally shooting jobs back to back to back, and the parents just coming in and like, hey, I want this. I got a kid in elementary school, kid in middle school, kid in high school. All the picture days were within a week or two of each other. I just want to buy them all at the same time. That's one case. But is that one case worth risking the other cases where it's one spring job and one fall job, and you don't get that spring money because the parents like, I'm going to buy it in fall, or vice versa. They're not going to buy it in fall because they got to buy it in spring, and spring comes in and they never purchase. So we're doing a lot of data analysis around this. I will tell you this. There is a solution that we have mapped out that I think will really solve this problem. I think the studios who really have this issue will be really happy for it. It just may not be in the same way that everyone is thinking about it, because we really do not want to compromise our cart to checkout conversion ratio and have it, drop. It will be something that's good for customer service. It will be something that does not affect cart to conversion, something that studios will be happy with. But I'm just kind of giving you all context as why we haven't just jumped in and said, hey, we're just going to do this right now. It is something that we need to be extremely thoughtful about. So I hope that answered your question, TJ. I know that was a long answer with that. So, okay. Yeah, the refunding shipping, we've definitely heard about that. And I think, TJ, we might want to chat with you, Katie, and I about the solution that we're thinking about, because it'll be helpful to have your feedback. Okay. All right, let's go, and I think there's one more question. Any thoughts, ability to customize sign-in registration page, add a video, infographic, or more language, especially when it comes to AdvancePay? So we haven't talked about allowing to edit the registration page at all. This is probably the first time I've heard that request. We can talk about it, Heather, but I definitely want to bring this up again. It is, for us, it's extremely important that we protect the integrity of the checkout process. The more instructions, the more steps that we add to that process compromises the checkout process. Whereas you're thinking, oh, I'm going to make things easier for parents. It's if it does not make things easier for parents, it ends up costing you and it ends up costing PhotoDay. So we're extremely kind of protective of what that process looks like. But with that being said, we do want customizations if it does make sense. Adding something to the page that will make sense, that doesn't compromise, we definitely are open to that. So let's talk about what some of those options might be. Feel free to reach out to our team. Yeah, and this is another reason. So we do have a lot of these sentiments from a lot of our studios. Some people want it, some people really, really don't want it. The thing that we're not going to do is make it, even if we do have a solution that works for certain studios, we're not going to make it a requirement to do for everyone. And that's just because we believe in the process that we've done. We also want to be able to provide studios flexibility and to doing what they feel like is best for them and their business. But we also have a business to look out for, and that is PhotoDay. If PhotoDay is not here because we're not able to do the things that we need to do, then everyone kind of suffers. So it is something that we have been trying to solve for the people who have the problem, but it's not something that we're just going to be like, hey, turn this on for everyone. It's going to be great. That's not how we are approaching it at all. So great commentary. Let's look at this. And I see your comment, Heather. Let me actually move this. I see your comment, Heather. Instructions to parents is typically tough because they don't read. A lot of times people are coming in and they're just not reading. They just expect everything to be super intuitive. And as a parent, I am speaking about myself. I just expect this should just work. So we want to be able to provide them instructions, definitely just using our platform, because we're consistently trying to make it as intuitive as possible. It's literally step by step by step by step. We have an amazing product design team who's always looking at how do we optimize this process for parents. We are looking with the end customer in mind. We pay attention to individual interactions. We have the opportunity to go to various events as of late to see what a parent is actually going through. That's been extremely helpful for us to just kind of navigate that process. So we are going to continue to make changes and get better because we really, for the parent, we want them, oh my gosh, this picture is amazing. I want this. This is the product that I wanted in. Let me put in my card information, or let me Apple Pay and check out, whatever that process may be. So we are consistently trying to make it better without having to label instructions and require a parent to read. Awesome. All right. Is there a way to view the orders when they come in bold if they haven't been viewed in unbold when you look at it, kind of like when you check your mail? That's an interesting request. So you're wanting to look at the orders kind of as they come in. It's an interesting notion. We have had this conversation about some sort of notification system and what those notifications will be for within our platform. So Cindy, it's something you might want to reach out to the Bubble and our team about so we can dive in more detail on what you're looking for. Because we're in volume, it gets kind of tough sometimes because you could end up having 100 orders and then needing to mark all of those orders as viewed can be a cumbersome process when you're talking about dozens and dozens of jobs. But let's talk about it in more detail, and we can go from there. Yeah, again, TJ just reiterating here, like a lot of parents, a lot of them, they don't want to read. And that's not their fault. They're here to see. This is a visual experience, right? They're not looking to read instruction. They're looking, I want to see this photo. I want to buy this photo. That's it. How can we make that easier? So, okay, sorting the products alphabetically. That's an interesting one. Yeah, we can talk about that, about how products display inside of inside of the customer experience. I'm guessing that you're meaning. Let's see. Okay, so this is one we kind of just talked about. I'm not a huge fan of this, again, because you're stopping the parent from coming to the gallery to do what they came to do, which is you look at the photo, and expecting them to, you get a text message, it's like, hey, your photos are ready. Expecting them to stop and read is like taking a kid to a field trip and then making them stop for the instructions of the field trip. By the time they get to the field trip, they don't want to stop, right? They just want to go play. And so what we have to do a better job of, in using this same kind of metaphor, is establishing what the guardrails around the field trip need to be, so that they can do whatever they want to do and still arrive safely at where we want them to arrive, versus needing to read the instructions. So it's very challenging to do this, as you can imagine, to make sure that they go to the gallery, they select a photo, because we don't just want them to go into products and then figuring out, oh, which photo do I want? And then needing to get to checkout. We are consistently trying to make that process easier for them, and we'll continue to iterate upon that. Thank you, Gretchen, for yes, understanding AdvancePay. Your feedback is noted. It is a challenge. I will tell you this: we get a lot of successful stories about AdvancePay. Parents who really do understand and really do like it, studios who really do like it. I'm not saying that your feedback is invalid, but this is the thing that PhotoDay has to do. We've got to take your feedback where you're saying parents aren't reading, and take that into account over other feedback where parents are really understanding. So we want to dive deeper into what you feel like your parents aren't understanding, and figure out how we can solve that problem. All right, let's go to the next question. Can images be displayed in a random way to increase the value of the storefront? Specifically, composite images. We already have the concept of featured products. Or let me make sure you're saying I'm going to answer two ways, just in case you're saying one or the other. Featuring them in the gallery versus featuring them in the storefront. Those are two different experiences. We have a way for you to feature a product in the storefront. But if you're saying featuring them into the gallery, that's a really interesting idea that I think we can explore, so that the images in the gallery display in a certain order with more value on certain images. I think that's actually a good thing to explore. Alicia, please reach out to the bubble about that, so that they can get you with our team, so that we can talk more about that idea. Cindy. Yes, Cindy, there is. I actually was just speaking to Justin about this. He's going to reach out to you with some instructions on how to do this. So really easy way for any studio that's printing their own stuff to be able to print a packing slip. Yes, we can talk about that more. Any other questions? This is really great conversation, guys. I really appreciate the opportunity to just have you all talk and share your thoughts and your feedback. This is, you all are why we do what we do. So we appreciate you just being here and asking questions, giving us your thoughts. PhotoDay wouldn't be PhotoDay without our studios, without our users. So thank you for everything. Looking forward to what's coming in the future. We will keep you all posted regarding the beta group, and not the beta group, but the features as they come out of beta. But we're super excited. And any other features that you guys think about, please don't hesitate to let us know. Reach out to the bubble. Let us know. We record that feedback. We review all of that feedback, and we incorporate it into our process. So thank you all for your time today. Have a happy Tuesday. Have a great summer. And I look forward to coming in front of you all again with even more features that we are working on, and even more solutions to your problems. So thank you all. Have a fantastic week. And yeah, have a good one.